Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Singaporean Talks Money. Do hit the like button before we start and let's get on to today's video topic. So recently, Netflix has been my weekend to go for documentaries and shows. So I came upon this documentary a few weeks ago which talked about social media that we use on a daily basis. From Facebook to Instagram and TikTok nowadays. So the documentary is called The Social Dilemma, which is a 2020 American docudrama film. It explores the rise of social media and the damage it has caused to society, focusing on its exploration of its users for financial gain through surveillance capitalism and data mining, and how the design of social media is meant to nurture an addiction, its use in politics, its effect on mental health, and its roles in spreading conspiracy theories such as Pizzagate and aiding groups such as Flat Earthers. So do you find yourself using your phone and the next moment when you look at the time, a few hours has passed? Well, it happens to me, and I have to admit that I use my phone and social media very frequently. So when did all this start? In the documentary, it was always mentioned that social media was created with an initial thought to improve the world and to allow better communication. But along the way, monetization came along and it changed the path of creation of new items and algorithms, as now the main purpose is to get more engagement and more screen time from its users, even if it's damaging, so that advertisers will pay more for them to put their ads up. So, like for example, one of the interviewee who was involved in the Facebook like button creation, he mentioned that the initial thought for it was to bring positivity and allow people to express their feelings of like and acceptance, but it soon manifests into a desire by the users that the more likes they get, the better it is, and that they had to cater their posts to attract more likes. And this just changed the whole direction of why the like button was created. So the spread of information is also one thing that the social media is partly responsible for. So all of the people who were interviewed worked in huge tech firms like Facebook, Google, YouTube, and Pinterest. All of them acknowledge that social media has now dominated the world in terms of information, and it is so scary how it has come to this stage. So in the show, there's going to be spoilers ahead. Many of them mention that to appeal to the audience, there is this thing called related content, which YouTube users are really familiar with. So they recommend you items that you have previously showed an interest in or watched. This might seem harmless, but in a large scale, it can affect the world that we now know and live in. So for example, the recent rise of right-wing leaders, the Rohingya crisis in Myanmar, and more violence around the world have sort of been attributed to social media. This is because the moment you read something like climate change is a hoax, your related content would be filled with similar items, and it turns into an information bubble to you. All the information that climate change is a hoax will come to you, and when you speak to other people from the other camp who believe that climate change is real, you will think, why are they not knowing the things that you're seeing or reading? But unknown to you, their feed displays a whole different scenario, as the things recommended to them is different from what you are seeing. So another example raised in the documentary was about NBA player Kyrie Irving, who said that the earth is square. When he said that, it really proved the point on how stories in social media can spread rapidly, as he said that social media was what made him thought that the earth was square at that time, as he was huge into conspiracies. Something that was mentioned in the show was that the problem is that algorithms doesn't know what is true and what is not. It has no truth detector, and fake news is a huge business these days. So if you start liking fake news stories or even pausing on them to take a look, the AI system knows that, and you will start getting more and more of them. So as we are presented with more one-sided information, we deeply believe that the things we are seeing or reading are true. But not everything on the internet is true. And so more extremist views are presented on social media, which is so hard to be regulated, as the AI recognizes it as content that will make people stay. One interesting thing is that most of the people who were interviewed were technology guys, and most of them said that they will not give their children a phone or have any social media accounts until they are older. So next, screen time. So how long do you usually use your social media after work, lying on your sofa or your bed? For me, there are definitely times when I spend hours on it. Besides the spread of fake and extremist views on social media, the tech firms have been working on making users stick to their screen for as long as they can. Because the longer the screen time, the more ads they can put out. And the swiping up motion is what they want you to keep doing on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And they keep feeding you with information of what you want to watch, when you watch and why, and what attracts your real attention. So this means that they have massive amount of data from you and your friends, which you are not even aware of. So a quote from the show is that if you are not paying, you are the product. So what's crazy is that there is no law on the data being collected, because the government currently does not have law or regulations on the data being collected. So one of the interviewees recommended taxing the tech firms on the amount of data collected, so that they will only collect what is required and not collect every single data point involved with the user. By taxing them, this will reduce the scope of data collection, and if they want more, they can pay for it. So next, we ourselves will have to be prepared as well when we use social media, and we have to have the ability to differentiate between fake and real news. It is so important now than ever to know how to differentiate. And what you can do is that you can check your sources, and anything that seems too crazy, take it with a pinch of salt. I like how at the end of the documentary, they gave some tips on how to handle the AI recommended content, because they know that no one can give up social media, even though they mentioned that that is the best way. So some tips that they recommended were to remove unnecessary apps in your phone that you no longer use. Next is a very, very important tip, is to turn off all notifications, including emails, if it's not very necessary. Next, never accept a video recommended to you on YouTube. And before you share, fact check the source before sharing. Lastly, follow people with different viewpoints to make sure you're not creating an information bubble for yourself. It is particularly sad after watching the documentary to see the people who created this social media platform to feel that there needs to be a fundamental shift to it, or in the short or long run, the world is going to be going in the wrong direction and possibly towards self-destruction. Thank you again for staying till the end of the video. Do like and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys in my next video.